What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to a video called Why Life in Canada Feels So Different for Americans. So, like most Americans, I always assumed that Canada, aside from being cold, was essentially exactly like the United States. And I think that just stems from a complete lack of understanding that us Americans have to Canadian culture and just a lack of exposure to Canadian culture and Canadian life. So today, I really want to take a look at this video all about how apparently living in Canada is a very different experience to living in the United States. So let's take a look.
When you first land in Canada, it doesn't just feel like crossing a border. It feels like stepping into a slightly different version of North America. At first glance,
Wow.
everything looks familiar. The roads, the stores,
Right.
the language.
Right.
But if you pay attention, little details start whispering to you that this isn't the United States anymore.
Oh, I mean, that makes complete sense to me. Like, there's no possible way you can ever actually understand a culture unless you go there and actually live it. And as a result, I think a lot of us Americans have a very surface level understanding or a very surface level idea in our mind of what living in Canada would be like. And it makes complete sense once you actually like go there. You see all these details, all these little things and big things. Because to be honest, most of us Americans like a lot of us never travel outside of the United States. We are very much quite isolated in our American culture bubble and don't really bother to learn about other cultures, really, and other ways of life and doing things. And it's a shame. It's actually very detrimental to us. So I'm actually quite glad to be taking a look at this.
The first time I arrived in Toronto's Pearson Airport, I immediately noticed the soft mix of English and French on the signs. It's subtle but
Right.
constant. Arrivals and arrives.
Right.
Exit and sortie.
So that's on everything. Is that right? I think from what I understand, like the English, I know Canada is bilingual, and you have the English and the French. And to be honest, for an American, like I think seeing a different language on public signs and stuff, that would be one of the most visible, most like noticeable differences that would make it feel like a different country, like a different planet. I don't know, because I'm sure for Canadians this is so normal. You probably don't even think about it. But seeing another language on a sign, like for Americans, that for us we'd point it out. We'd be like, "What the heck? That's not English." What is? It'd be like an event for us.
For an American used to only one language on public signs, it's both beautiful and slightly confusing.
Yeah.
People move at a calmer pace. Airport staff still smile and say sorry if they bump into you.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
the stereotype is real. Customs officers are polite but not overly chatty. Even the tone feels softer.
Oh, I mean, I understand this might be like a generalizing people. Like, I'm sure there's got to be some Canadian officer that's like kind of salty and like not nice, right? Somewhere. But I think the point that it's making is in general, that stereotype that Canadians have of being calm, polite, level headed, nice. There's a lot of truth to that, which is amazing. What an incredible thing for like an entire culture and people to be known for around the world. Known for being nice, good people. Like that's amazing.
Once outside, you notice other tiny things. The money looks like Monopoly cash, bright blues, greens, purples, and plastic feeling compared to the US dollar.
That would be jarring. Like, because I am so used to American money. Like, it's true. I know they called it monopoly money, which is kind of insulting in a way. I don't know what. It's not pretend money, but to be honest, something in my mind doesn't let me see this as money. Like, it's just colorful pieces of paper. And it's like, what? That's, you can spend that for things? And it's like, yeah, in other countries, there's other money. Like, get it through your head.
Cars obey speed limits a bit more. And almost instantly, the cold hits you in a different way if you've arrived in winter.
Oh, jeez.
Sharp but dry, and everyone seems effortlessly prepared with heavy coats and insulated boots.
That, this is interesting. And I believe that, like, if you grow up in Canada, if you live your life there, obviously you're going to be much more prepared. I've done other videos, like looking at Canadian winter and snow that you guys have had, and it's absolutely insane. And I've said before, like, Americans have we have no concept of how to operate in those conditions. Everything would shut down in what would be probably a mild blizzard in Canada.
One small moment I'll never forget. Standing lost near the UP Express train platform, trying to figure out how to pay. A man in a suit stopped, smiled, and showed me the exact button to press on the screen.
Whoa. Yeah. If this happened in the United States, some people would like actually get angry, or especially if you touched their, like, while they were using the ATM, if you were like, even if you're trying to help. I think in the United States, just across the board, we have a much lower level of trust. Like, you can't leave your stuff you can't leave your laptop at at the coffee table and go to the bathroom or something. You can't leave your wallet on the sidewalk and come back 30 minutes later and think it's going to be there. So people don't want, even though seems like a really nice gesture in Canada, like helping someone with the ATM. I think in America, there's some people who would be really off-putted by it.
Then he just said, "Welcome to Toronto," and hurried off to catch his train.
Oh.
No awkwardness, no waiting for thanks, just genuine, quiet helpfulness.
Ha! Ha! That's a novel concept. The idea of doing something and not expecting anything in return. Wow.
That's when I felt the first wave of, oh, this is different. In America, strangers can be helpful too,
Yeah.
but there's usually a quick rush or a joke. Here, it felt unhurried and thoughtful.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are good people in the United States. I tend to think we just have some of the best people and some of the worst. Like, we have both, the extremes of both.
Once you settle in, Canada starts revealing the slower, deeper differences. Grocery shopping is one of the first wake-up calls. You grab a gallon of milk and realize it's in liters, not gallons.
Shouldn't it be in a bag as well? Isn't that a thing?
Gas is sold by the liter too. Food packaging lists calories and French translations side by side.
Oh my god. So it has both. How on earth do you fit all of the information on the boxes? If everything has to be in both French and English, all the nutrition facts, how do you even do that? And gas is in liters. Oh my god. And you guys use metric. So it's like liters per kilometer, or I would literally have no idea how much to put in my car. Like, I have a vague concept of how much a liter is because of all the Coke I drink. The 2 liters. But don't get me started on like how far a kilometer is. I have no idea.
Bag policies are strict. You're expected to bring reusable bags or pay for each one.
Huh? What? Is that really a thing? There's, like, when you're grocery shopping? You don't just have a bunch of... What? You have to bring your own bag all the time? Because in most American grocery stores, like almost all of them, there is unlimited plastic bags to put your stuff in, as many as you need, for free. I've never thought of that as special. I thought that was standard. So he said you have to bring your own bag?
Bag policies are strict. You're expected to bring reusable bags or pay for each one.
Or pay. Jeez. How much is a bag? You gotta do this every single time you go grocery shopping? I guess you... Is this like for recycling, I think, for not wasting plastic bags? So that's good. I guess... Is this all of Canada? Wow. I guess you just gotta have your handy reusable bag that you just bring with you every time. That's what I would do, I guess.
Something many American stores still treat casually.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's healthcare.
Huh.
Even as a visitor or new resident, you'll hear about Canada's universal health system quickly. Canadians talk about doctors and hospitals with a mix of pride and frustration.
Oh.
Yes, it's affordable, but wait times can feel long compared to US standards.
I see. Because everybody can go to the hospital in Canada. Everybody goes. Therefore, longer wait times. That makes sense. That's kind of an inevitable consequence, I think. Whereas in America, actually the wait times are usually not too bad because you only go in if you absolutely have to, because you are going to spend some money. So I guess it's good to be in American healthcare. If you're rich and you don't have to worry about money, then you probably love it. If you're most people, like you'd probably like the Canadian way, where you'd trade waiting for free healthcare.
For Americans used to quick private clinics, it's a mental shift. The weather isn't just cold, it shapes daily life. Snowplows appear like magic overnight, clearing roads before dawn.
Really? Is it that efficient? Because in the US, when they do get the snowplows out, we do have them. They come out like once a year. It's not with any efficiency or quickness or like there's no big urgency to get everything going and moving because like I think in a lot of places in the United States we just kind of accept if like the one or two times a year that there's a big snowstorm or whatever that everything's just going to be a snow day. So in Canada it makes a lot of sense to me that the plowing is probably way more efficient and serious so people can like wake up and go about your day because it's like snowing like pretty severely all the time, right? In the winter.
People talk about layering clothing the way Americans talk about car insurance. Kids walk to school in boots with snow pants while parents shovel driveways. It is just normal here.
Ha! I never walked to school in snow pants. Is that really a thing? I guess it makes sense in Canada, like, if you'd have to bundle up that much. Oh my God.
And yet life doesn't stop. Canadians move through winter with a kind of quiet toughness.
Okay.
Food culture feels familiar but slightly gentler. Coffee isn't a Starbucks-only world. Tim Hortons is everywhere. And
Right. In America, it's Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, I suppose, or a random gas station. I think it feels like Tim Hortons like has taken the place of McDonald's maybe in Canada. Like a lot of Americans get coffee at McDonald's, so that seems to kind of like take its place.
it's not just coffee. It's an unofficial community center where neighbors meet, construction workers warm up, and families grab breakfast.
Really?
The food scene overall is multicultural.
Really? Our coffee places are just an area for everyone to be sort of miserable and tired and kind of congregate and then want to get away from each other. So a little bit of a difference there.
Sushi next to poutine, butter chicken next to burgers. Canada wears its diverse.
What on earth is butter chicken? I know poutine. I know what that is. What? Okay. Interesting.
Cultural. Sushi next to poutine, butter chicken next to burgers. Canada wears its diversity casually. It's there, but it's not loud or showy. Social interactions in Canada feel warm but measured. Americans are often surprised by how polite and reserved Canadians seem at first.
I don't know. I don't think we would be that surprised because it's the stereotype. It's what Canada is known for. Most Americans expect Canadians to be like kind, polite people. So, yes, it would be surprising like compared to American interactions, but it is what, for better or for worse, it's what we kind of expect.
One big cultural shock is how modest Canadians can be. In the US, success is often celebrated loudly. Here, humility is admired.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here in the United States, you are taught from a child that you want to win, you want to be the best, you want to beat everyone. And when you win, you celebrate it. And in America, we absolutely celebrate celebrities and athletes and people. And that is such a part of American culture, being the best, whether it's at your sport or your job or your whatever part of your life. And it definitely can be taken too far. I think some is good, obviously, to promote like hard work and that sort of thing, but it can definitely be taken too far.
Bragging is frowned upon. Even conversations are peppered with gentle self-deprecating humor.
Yeah. Americans we're not really into the self-deprecating humor so much. That's like sort of British humor, right? Or maybe it's sort of Canadian as well. The sort of self-deprecating. Americans are not so quick to want to do that, despite how easy it is.
That's not coldness. It's just a quieter way of connecting. In the US, vacations can feel rushed and full of guilt. Here, taking a break is part of life's rhythm.
This sounds amazing, by the way. There are so many aspects to Canadian life that are so different. This is so accurate. Like work, vacations. Like when you try to, man, when I tell you at work, if you want vacation, you better ask for it like a month or two in advance, and your boss is probably gonna put up a resistance. And don't you dare take more than I swear, if you ask for more than 2 days off in a row, it's like the world is ending. So whether it's intentional or not, there's a lot of pressure in America to not take long times off work, not really go on extended vacations. We have a limited number of sick days. You're only allowed to be sick so much. Then get your butt back to work. Limited number of vacation days. Yeah, it's the work-life balance in America is quite bad, and we've just kind of accepted it as normal, kind of like our healthcare system. We've just kind of accepted it.
Healthcare also plays into this work-life mindset.
There you go.
Knowing that a broken bone won't bankrupt you changes how people see risk and time off.
Sure.
Parents don't seem as panicked about taking a kid to the doctor. Sick days are respected. The stress around medical bills that Americans often carry simply isn't there.
That's amazing. Like, you can't emphasize this enough as a big difference. I know Canadians, you have to pay a lot of taxes to pay for the universal health care coverage, but I would take that in an instant to not worry about getting the bill in the mail. Every time you go to the doctor for whatever, or the hospital, or surgery, or you get the bill in the mail a week later. And it's stressful, and it's a reason why a lot of Americans don't even go to see the doctor when they should. And that's a very disturbing thought.
Canada isn't perfect, but its everyday kindness and balanced pace can feel life-changing if you reuse to the American grind. Have you experienced Canada yourself? Did these culture shocks surprise you? Or have you seen different ones?
Wow. That was a lot of fun to learn about, but also strangely a little depressing to see. Like, there's a lot of, I don't know what you'd even call it, philosophies. A lot of like things in Canadian culture and the way you do things and your philosophy on life and how you approach things and your policies on some things that are just obviously better and healthier and happier that America could certainly learn from. So, the fact that this stuff is pretty shocking for us Americans is actually kind of bad. Because, like I said, we have accepted the way American culture is. And there's a lot of good things about it, but there's a lot of things we could do better. And it starts by, getting exposed to other cultures like this. So I really enjoyed this for that reason. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on how different Canada feels for Americans. All these differences and stuff that Canada is doing that's frankly sounds better. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.